Welcome everybody to another edition of Hurry Up. I'm your boy Adam. Let's get into it. So Jason Garrett gets fired. How crazy is that? No one thought it would happen. Well, people thought it would happen, but not during the season, not during the year. That's not usually the Giant way of doing things. This year, that it's gone completely off the rails. The only issue I have with the firing is it probably should have happened prior to the bye week. But they won a game against the Raiders, so you can't. I guess you can't fire a guy there. But there were rumblings about Freddie Kitchens getting more work with the offense and things like that. So there were rumblings about it. But to me, I would have done it during the offseason. That way, you had that 2 weeks to prepare for Tampa Bay. Instead, what you have is a guy falling flat on his face offensively as an offensive coordinator. And then not only do you lose a game, but he loses his job. So not only are you humiliated on national TV, embarrassed. That's why moves were made. I'm glad it was. Now comes the fun part. Now comes the non-excuse part. 6 games left. 6 games for Judge to save his job in this team, because that firing was to save his job. Basically, he's like, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down the way I want to go down. And maybe the offense will open up. Maybe this will get a chance for Tony to get the ball downfield, Galladay to get the ball downfield, heck, even Ingram to get the ball downfield. We'll see what Freddie Kitchens is going to do. Do we have a little sample size from last year? A game against the Cleveland Browns. A game against the Cleveland Browns. I would Colt McCoy was quarterback. There were a couple throws in that game that would have probably been completed, or at least looked completed, or had a better chance to be completed with a stronger arm quarterback, i.e. Daniel Jones, in the game. He was not. They worked the game plan, and because of Colt McCoy's limitations, which it's funny, he's doing very well in Arizona, so you wonder what was going on there. He probably was still coming off his shoulder injury, so he didn't have as much strength. But they built a game plan against Colt McCoy, with Colt McCoy, and they didn't win the game, but at least there were some opportunities downfield that you don't normally see. Now, this is the Philadelphia Eagle team whose defense is pretty good, but you can get some plays on them. Let's see if the Giants can come up with something in their arsenal. It may be into next week, being that it was a short week, and that they may have to rejigger the whole game plan. But it's Wednesday. They did it the day before the players came in, so there should be a game plan ready to go, and we'll see what happens. Now, Daniel Jones has no more excuses. These 6 games. I mean, we can say offensive line and all this stuff. We've been over the Daniel Jones, whether he's good enough to be a franchise quarterback, whether he's not, whatever side of the aisle you sit on. These are the 6 games to kind of finish up the season of evaluation for him. So a lot of people like him, a lot of people are different about him, and a lot of people are, want him gone. Me, I'm a little indifferent. I don't really see much that leads me to be optimistic. I am going to root for the guy. I did like him when he came out. However, there was a lot of disappointing stuff that comes through with Daniel Jones, and a lot that needs to either be corrected or needs to be addressed. And I know that people are going to say, well, he's going to be here next season. Let him be here next season. That's a hard evaluation for whomever the GM is next year. Whether that's Gettleman, whether that's not Gettleman, whether it's somebody else. That's a hard evaluation you got to make. Because another year wasting away on a quarterback that you don't deem a guy that's going to be leading your offense is a waste for Kenny Galladay, is a waste for all the guys you signed. If I'm a Giant fan, I would not want to sign players to bring them in here to try to go on a playoff run when you have a quarterback that can't even get you over the hump. You might as well bring in a guy that can do that and make a move for that to happen. So these next 6 games are going to be crucial in the development of Daniel Jones going forward, because now there won't be the umbrella excuse. Well, he didn't perform because Jason Garrett forces him to read one side of the field. Give me a break. If the guy still has the same issues in the offense and missing guys open in the offense, and there's not Jason Garrett, then we'll know that part of the problem was Daniel Jones. And maybe he fits a better system, i.e., Pat Shermer. Now, some people want to discredit that season, saying that, you know, well, it was 24 touchdowns, but it only came in certain games and yada yada yada. It's like, well, if you wanted to do sack numbers for certain NFL sack guys, they come in bunches. I mean, look at Leonard Williams. He had 11.5 sacks last year. He had like 3.5 against Seattle, 2.5 against like Washington. I don't know all the numbers, but like he had them in bunches. That doesn't discredit the fact that he had sacks, right? Just because Daniel Jones threw touchdown passes against weaker competition during his rookie season is not an indictment on his ability to play. It means that he took advantage of weaker secondary teams. So, while I agree that the sample size in 2014 is only limited to those 12 games, I do believe, we have to give some credence to that season because it was his first season, and he threw about 24 touchdowns. Yeah, I know the 18 fumbles and the 12 interceptions. Well, the 18 fumbles and the 11 lost and the 12 interceptions don't, lead themselves to winning formulas. However, you can't discredit the fact that the ball was thrown downfield more, that he had a couple, game-winning drives in that season, and there are just a lot more things that we got excited about. I'm sure Giant fans would want to see what the 2019 version of Daniel Jones than right now, because right now he's got 20 touchdowns in 2 seasons. That's not going to cut it, especially in this day and age. We'll see. We'll see at 6 games to get, if he gets a touchdown each game, he's going to be up there with, about 17, 18, 19, 20 touchdowns. Which isn't bad if we're in the mid 2000s. 2005, 2006, your quarterback throws 20 touchdowns, you're kind of in it. But now we are in the era of passing. And they've got guys who are not as good putting up numbers in different offenses. Whether it's Josh Johnson for the Jets, even Mike White one game for the Jets. These type of things shouldn't be happening to your starting quarterback. But I digress. Right now, we need to focus on the Giants and their offensive ways and see if they change anything. And see if Joe Judge, who said he may even have a hand in play calling. Okay, Joe Judge, why weren't you doing that before? There's a lot of untold stories about what's going to probably come out in the next few weeks with the Jason Garrett story. So look out for that. It should be fun. Giant fans, get ready. Enjoy what's coming. Take these next 6 games to evaluate. I don't think the Giants will be able to make the playoffs. You never know what happens. Maybe the offense lights it up and, somehow they climb back in the race. I don't think so. I think there's a couple teams ahead of them that are, going to kind of separate themselves this next few weeks, especially if the Eagles win. That'll kind of push them and propel them into the next week. And then you also have Washington playing Seattle, struggling Seattle team on Monday night. So those are 2 teams that are already in front of the Giants. So let's see what the Giants can do. Giants win. It changes the course of both the Eagles and the Giants, right? It changes the course of both franchises. Right now, the Giants are 3-8. They lose this game. They're 3-7. Excuse me. They lose this game on Sunday. They're 3-8, and it's going to be a tough hill to climb up after that. Not any given Sunday. Teams are going to come in and want to start playing the end of the year hot. Some of them aren't going to want to limp into the end of the year, especially teams that are still jockeying for draft positions, still jockeying for their players and coaching staffs trying to play themselves back onto teams. So these next 6 weeks will be fun. If I don't hear from you guys, enjoy your Thanksgiving break. Whether you watch football or just are around family, enjoy it. It's a time to enjoy, reminisce, and watch football and eat turkey. All right? Have a great one, guys.